Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today Television. I am Chetan Bhutani. Tata Motors has come out with its all-new Tata Altroz at a record-breaking price of 6.89 lakhs. And to talk more on that and of course the company-specific questions, I am joined by Shailesh Chandra, Managing Director at Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle and of course Electric Mobility Limited. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. First of all, congratulations on the new Altroz, sir. Coming at a time when the SUV segment is hottening up, what made you launch the Altroz at this point of time, considering it's a hatchback and sedan, which is actually having a flattish growth to negative growth? So what is the rationale behind that, sir?
It's a very valid question. The way we have been seeing the trend and how we have approached the constitution of the product portfolio for ourselves is we are specifically spotting the sub-segments which we think is continuing to hold its size and is also seeing a promising growth in the future. It is true that SUVs have been gaining significant share, and if you really see in the past 5 years, SUVs have grown from 29% share of TIV to 55%, and hatches have de-grown from 46% to nearly 24%. So therefore, it is surprising that why we would still focus on hatches. One, because we are now seeing that in the times of COVID, the first 2 years of COVID, which is 2021 and 2022, those were the years where you saw steep drop of hatches from 46% down to 35%. But in the last 1 or 2 years, you are seeing that now this is coming to a stabilization level. And it might stabilize around, say, 20-24% somewhere in between, which would still mean that this segment is going to be 1 million plus going forward. What is really happening in the hatch segment, within the hatch segment itself, if you break it down into 4 sub-segments, which is entry, mid, high and premium, you are clearly seeing that the entry segment is losing the most. So share within the hatch segment for entry hatch has dropped by nearly 10%. Its share within the hatch segment. Whereas premium hatch segment, where Altroz is positioned, has increased from say 25% to nearly 32%. So within the hatch segment, you are seeing the premium hatch segment is actually growing. So within hatch, whatever is the demand, which is nearly 1 million plus in a 4.2 million market. So it's a significant number. And therefore, if you have to be in hatches, the place to be in hatches is premium hatch. Why that is happening? For simple reason that the overall household income is growing. It is going to double in the next 5 years because we have to take a point of view of the future. What is going to happen in the next 5 years? You are going to see nearly 65 million households are going to have income more than 15 lakh. This is the target group, for this kind of a product. So therefore, we feel that premium hatch will have a good future going forward. It gives you a very compact and agile option for driving within the city. And you are seeing a lot of young first-time buyers going for this vehicle. So that's the whole reason why we have gone for and kept our focus on the premium hatch.
Sir, if we look at statements from India's one of the top manufacturing OEM, Maruti Suzuki, Mr. Bhargav had earlier mentioned that affordability has become a key factor. Hence, the hatchback and the entry-level cars are not selling. Whereas you feel that the income middle group income is actually rising. So where is the shortfall of the two OEMs that we are facing, sir? Because on one hand we see that 10 lakh cars are not selling because of income issues, whereas we see 15 lakh segment also growing. So where is the shortfall that we are seeing between the two, sir?
Let me answer very fact based. 5 years back, Indian market was 2.7 million. Today the market is 4.3 million. The median prices of the car would have gone up from say 7 lakh to 11 lakh. So the prices have significantly increased. But why has the market then grown? If there was an issue of disposable income. Because household incomes are growing. It's a fact. And therefore people, including the first time buyers, are going for expensive cars. So therefore, in my view, the growth of personal disposable income and growth by 2 times, as I said in my previous response, that is a fact. And therefore, people will upgrade from the cars they have. There's a huge park of cars People will go for more expensive cars, but at the same time, it is true that entry segment will be under pressure. And there are two reasons for that. One is that people will want to have cars which are feature rich, which make a statement for them, including the young buyers, as I said, and therefore the gravitation you are seeing towards more feature rich premium hatches. But the entry cars will be under pressure mostly from the used car segment. Now, used car segment, if you see, in the last 5 years, I said that new car sales have grown from 2.7 to 4.3 million. What has happened in the used car segment, and I'm giving based on some of the data that I have got from informal sources. I don't have any formal source of data, but this has grown from 2.5 million to 5.5 million.
Okay.
And the average selling price of cars in the used car market is 4.5 lakh. So therefore, if you have a used car option where you are getting a car in good condition, these are backed many a times with vehicle financing option with certain warranty, people find that as a good choice. So if you really see, 2.7 million was for new car in 2020, 2.5 million was for used car, which means 5.2 million. Today, what is the situation? 4.3 million and 5.5 million. It's a 9.8. There is an overall growth happening. So therefore, my view is that the entry hatch is under pressure because of a good alternative in the used car side, where they get a bigger car with pretty much in good condition with some warranty. But those people who still want to go, because people want new cars. Everybody is not comfortable with used car and the hassles at times that one can get into. They are more gravitating towards more feature-rich cars. So that's the way I'm seeing things.
Noted.
And I don't say anybody's view is right or wrong, but this is my point of view.
Sure. I got it, sir. Moving on to the EV space, sir. You were at the inflecting point when we saw the first Nexon EV, getting into the Indian market. You had a significant market share back to about 83% in FY23, reduced to 53%, and now in April we saw reduced to below like 35% we saw in April. What are the steps being undertaken to arrest that slide, sir? We know that we have a couple of one or two new EVs coming up from Tata Motors, but we need to really arrest that slide for your end to regain that market share. So are you worried about that, and what are the plans out there, sir?
See, our steady state and long-term aspiration, mid to long-term aspiration, is to be around 50% market share. And we are not very perturbed with these short-term things which will happen. It's a small market. One product can swing the market shares here and there. What is important is that how we are viewing and segmenting the market and how we are preparing ourselves for that. Some of the market share loss is also because of about 6 to 10% loss would be because of the loss of volumes that we had in the fleet segment. But more importantly, you should know that a lot of new launches have happened. The volumes will stabilize for them. So there will be short-term pressure on market share. I would not like to downplay that. Our focus is to sustain our market share at 50% to be the leader, and we have to grow our volumes. And grow our penetration. That's the basic objective with which we are planning our strategy on the product side. In the short term, the way we are seeing the electric vehicle segment, that it is now segmented into 3-4 segments, sub-segments. One is 8 to 12 lakh segment, which is primarily being used as a city car, but this is still not grown in volume despite being, such
that should have been growing in volume.
Inexpensive car. This should grow with more stronger value proposition being offered here. So the focus for us there would be to strengthen the value proposition of Tiago and Punch EV, which we have in that segment, and that would mean enhance the value through maybe enhancing the range, or making the price more aggressive, combination of both. We have 75% market share in this segment, and therefore we would like this segment to expand, and there will be certain interventions that we have planned for. Right. The competition intensity is more in the 12 to 20 lakh segment, where you have all the players with all their models, and this is where our market share would have fallen down to about 33%. We have two products here, Nexon and Curvv, and we'll position ourselves strongly going forward with certain interventions in these products. We are not present in the greater than 20 lakh, which is also showing a very good promise. In this segment, we are going to enter through two products, Harrier and Sierra, in this financial year. So that should help us expand the market. Also, the fleet segment which went down, it was only limited to e-hailing companies and employee transport segment. We need to open the larger segment, which is nearly 25,000 to 30,000 a month, which are CNG fleet cars. So for CNG fleet cars, we need to give a value proposition of an electric car which is equal or superior to CNG. That is the mindset with which we are going. So in short term, all these 4 segments we will address and become more stronger to get and revive our volumes as well as market share towards the aspiration that we have. In mid to long term, there will be renewal of the portfolio with more new products, which will be more closer to how the customer choice is evolving in this segment. How we make it more barrier free going forward, that is the intention, and that plan we will let you know in future. But we have both short term attention as well as mid to long term attention to ensure that we keep our aspiration of having 50% plus market share within this industry.
So by when do we expect, because we have 2 new EVs coming up in a short span of time, sir, when do we expect, when are you looking at gaining that momentum and getting hold of that market share, that 15-20 odd percent?
You will see through, during the year you will start seeing the impact of this, because it is not only about the new products coming, it is also about strengthening the current set of products that we have. Both in combination will come at different points in time during the year. The volumes of many new launches will also stabilize, right? So let's see the effect of all these interventions on the other side. That's what I would say.
Sure. And also, sir, you mentioned about CNG. The good part is that CNG is, of course, on a rise in the country. Many OEMs are betting on CNG as an alternative fuel. You are also, giving that breakthrough technology when it comes to the, the boot space, the rear space, putting inside it and giving that boot space to the customer. But I want to know, do we really, over the year, would we have more CNG options coming up in different avatars, in different cars?
We have already expanded our portfolio from 1 or 2 CNG options in the market. That we launched for the first time a CNG product in 2022 with Tiago and Tigor. And Altroz was actually the first car to get the innovative twin cylinder technology which released the entire boot space, and it became a no compromise option. But since then we have expanded into 5 product portfolio for CNG. There can be further potential of few more products getting CNG, but that is something which we are watching, how the segments are evolving there, and our commitment is going to be very strong of continuing to improve the CNG portfolio for ourselves, because we clearly see that in the next 5 years also, given the commitment that you are seeing on the growth of the network of gas stations, it's already 7,500 plus. Ambition in this of the government is to increase it to 15,000 in the next 5 years. So already CNG is about 800,000 market, which can double. So it's going to be a significant market, and we will position ourselves very strongly. We were the fastest growing segment last year with nearly 50% plus growth rate, where industry grew by 30%, and we became the second largest player. We will continue this momentum.
Alright, so now moving on to the UK Trade Pact, we see the import duties rising from 2.5 to 10% now. Are you looking at it as something that will impact the margins in the near space, and any comment that you'd like to offer on that, sir?
Frankly, one that it's definitely a significant milestone for the country as far as bilateral trade is concerned. But, there's absence of the details that we need to know to give any kind of assessment on what it means. So I would refrain from commenting before we get more details from Ministry of Commerce, and post that only when we'll be able to give, not as only from Tata Motors perspective, but also SIAM.
And also we, you announced a massive 18 billion pounds worth of investments for JLR. Can you take us through how the capex would be planned?
I would not like to comment on JLR because that's a company which is run independently.
Sure.
So at this stage, I would not like.
All right, so moving on to policy perspective, and my last 2 set of questions with you, sir. What is your comment? Because we see that the FAME 2 scheme has expired. The government has, of course, the PM eDrive and PM Seva scheme have come out, but not much significant handholding has been done for the EV space now. Earlier it was done, but now we see government letting go of the industry to walk on its own. So, any comment on that? Do you feel that the EV subsidies should be carried on further? What do you think?
See, as far as FAME 2 and then subsequently the PM E-Drive scheme which came, FAME 2 was never directed to the personal mobility on the electric vehicle side. So it was only directed towards the fleet segment. That has been taken away. Fortunately for us, the battery prices have reduction in battery prices has more than compensated for this FAME incentive which was there, which at least made it more superior from a TCO perspective against a diesel car. Now the attempt is that how we can make it more superior to a CNG car. But this is where support of the government on the electric mobile, the fleet side could have been beneficial for this particular segment. But having said that, the government has been very committed, I would say. The low GST rate has been continued. Then you have road tax benefit, which most of the states are still offering. There have been discontinuity in between, but again it has been revived. So I would say that all the support which has come from the government has been very positive. And that's the reason why now you are seeing growth in the EV industry. It was already it had crossed the 1.2 lakh mark last year. So I think government has done what it has to do.
And before I ask you on the outlook, sir, quick question on, of course, the demerger. We have said the announcements have come in, and how is it on time, and any new thing that you could tell us about the demerger?
There's nothing new to share. I think we have already spoken about it. We have spoken about the rationale. We have spoken about the timeline. It remains on track, and very exciting times for both the businesses, I would say.
Your shareholders are very happy because a record 300% dividend has been announced. So, I mean, that's great news. So, wrapping up, sir, what's the outlook of the sector now for Tata Motors, especially considering we are expecting, higher single digit growth for this year? Are you on the same track? And with
frankly, based on what we are hearing from different forecasting agencies and the triangulated view within the industry, clearly the year might be similar to what FY25 was from a growth perspective. For us, as I said, that our loss of volumes last year was primarily to do with Tiago and Altroz being in the final stage of their life cycle before the next intervention came. We suffered because of that. I think therefore with hatches becoming strong and SUV portfolio becoming more stronger, we are expecting an industry-beating growth for ourselves.
Well, industry-beating growth is what Shailesh Chandra has been talking about. Well, that was Shailesh Chandra talking about the new Altroz launch, how he's been bullish on the premium hatchback segment. Of course, the growth of SUV segment is going to take off further as well. With camera person Mandar Shawan in Mumbai, this is Chetan Bhutani for Business Today.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.